From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 9. Presented by Amity University. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group. Century Ply. Sarah and Havels.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Saffron terror. Saffron terrorists. Colonel Purohit. Sadhvi Pragya, the Malegaon blast, Hindutva-inspired terrorism, Sanghi terrorism. These were the buzzwords 10 years back. And many of you may have believed it. Because you were made to believe. You were made to believe that it is not Pakistan, but radicalized saffron terrorists who were behind some bomb blasts. The idea behind this evil agenda was to spread the lie about saffron terror. It was very clear. It was an attempt by the Congress government and the Aman Ki Asha types, the pseudos, the fakes, the hypocrites, the anti-nationals and the opportunists, to defend Pakistan and put the blame on innocent Indians instead. Yes, it was an open attempt by the Sonia-backed Manmohan government to take the spotlight off the jihadi terrorist groups, to take the spotlight off the Indian Mujahideen, off the Jaish-e-Mohammed, off the Lashkar-e-Taiba, off Hafiz Saeed, and instead lay the blame on patriotic Indians who are fighting the terrorists. And one such man, a very brave man, who today wears the army uniform with pride and is serving the nation with pride, is Colonel Shrikant Purohit. A man was called a terrorist. Unforgivable. Tortured, locked up for years. And tonight I come to you with evidence, viewers, which my investigative team has. I come to you with proof that he was fixed. Can you believe it, viewers? This was a lie, a hoax. A hoax. Did you fall for it? Colonel Shrikant Purohit was fixed because the Congress government wanted to spread a view that the color saffron, the sacred color saffron, should be associated with terrorism. And tonight, Republic and its investigative team comes to you with proof that explosives RDX was planted and Colonel Shrikant Purohit was fixed. It's a story you must hear. And I want to ask all of you tonight, if this was a hoax, which it was, why today, late 2022, is only the Republic Media Network telling you it's a hoax? Think about it, viewers. This was a hoax to defame a religion. Yes, viewers, it was. How much more do I have to say? Let's debate. Republic investigates. Another exclusive on the Malegaon case, which is going to be opened up, leaves a singular question. Was it a saffron terror hoax? Debate number 2 tonight. Brutally attacked, brutally beaten by the AAP government in Punjab. Farmers being thrashed by the AAP government in Punjab. What happened to Kejriwal being pro-farmer, and why is the lobby quiet about it? Tough questions tonight on debate number 3. The opportunistic so-called filmmaker who said he's against the film Kashmir Files now proves to be a Trojan horse for the Toolkit gang. The Toolkit gang. Ladies and gentlemen, we have proof on that too. And here are the headlines this Wednesday evening on the debate tonight. Part 3 of the Republic super exclusive of the Malegaon fraud. More statements are on the show tonight. Every detail, every document and every testimony pointing at one conclusion. Colonel Shrikant Purohit was fixed. A brutal and unprecedented crackdown on farmers by the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab, its government in Punjab. Langars out at Singhu before the elections, but brutal lathis for farmers after the elections. This is Kejriwal's absolute doublespeak. From attacking the Kashmir files to attacking India and the Kashmir policy, Israeli filmmaker Lapid reveals his real agenda.
देखिए, एक एक्सपेरिमेंट है, प्रोएक्टिव एक्शन है और मुझे लगता है कि बहुत जरूरी एक्शन है। बहुत अच्छा निर्णय लिया है प्रदेश भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने।
And a big exclusive on the debate tonight. Home Minister Amit Shah talking to Republic hints at an anti-radicalization cell to fight the terror menace. Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, we are back with another exclusive on the Malegaon probe. Details that are spilling the beans on the saffron terror hoax. But look at the larger picture of what this means. It means that Pakistan was enabled. It means that our own army men were targeted while the enemy was emboldened. It means that our national security was reduced to smithereens, to being reduced to an instrument of appeasement. Ladies and gentlemen, our third big exclusive on what was starting out as the Malegaon fraud, but which is without doubt today, #saffron terror hoax. Let's debate.
Official press conferences were held to emphasize on the saffron terror theory.
The message is that right-wing fundamentalist groups are suspected to be behind some bomb blasts. These are religious fundamentalist groups.
UPA-era ministers went on stage and spewed claims about Hindu terrorism.
माइनॉरिटी पर कई वक्त इनजस्टिस भी होता है, वो भी देखा जा रहे हैं। वहां जाके बॉम्ब प्लांट करना और ताकि ये उस माइनॉरिटी के लोगों ने किया है इस प्रकार का बताना, इसके लिए भी हमें बहुत सतर्क रहना।
The taint of Hindu terror was imprinted on the accused.
मुझे नहीं पता था इसका कारण क्या है, क्यों मुझे पीटा जा रहा है। जो मुझे बाद में पता चला कि वो कहलवाना चाहते थे कि तुमने एक विस्फोट किया है और मुस्लिमों को मारा है।
9 years later, Lieutenant Colonel Purohit was finally granted bail after the NIA pointed out all the flaws in the ATS investigation.
How do you look at it when you compare it to that case?
Ma'am, I can't say anything about that. About my case, I'm happy about whatever has happened in the sessions in High Court and Supreme Court. Now Sessions Court will listen to that.
Are you hopeful now of getting relief from the trial court, sir?
Yes.
But the whole truth is still not out. We told you about the missing narco tests.
Public has access exclusive details as to how Malegaon accused say that the narco analysis conducted by the anti-terrorist squad will prove their innocence. In fact, accused Major Ramesh Upadhyay has sought narco analysis details from various courts of law, but that has been turned down.
We showed you the statements that indicate fabrication to fix the accused. And now, another clincher tonight.
Now what we have come across of a statement, again, our army personnel, clearly mentioning. If I read out the statement, which clearly mentions that Srivastav had also threatened me that he will also implicate me in this case as implicated to Purohit.
The truth in the Malegaon plot must come out. The saffron terror hoax cannot float anymore. Let's debate.
I have with me a statement that was being made before the NIA, but I also have with me exact part of the NIA charge sheet, and I have putting both together. It is quite clear that Colonel Shrikant Purohit was falsely implicated It is quite apparent to all of us that he was fixed. The case was reverse engineered against Colonel Purohit, and the ATS was issuing open threats. All of this is on record, ladies and gentlemen, and again doing a fantastic job is my colleague Alisha Nair. Before I introduce everyone, actually let me introduce Professor Rakesh Sinha of the BJP, Colonel Arasan Singh, Milind Joshi Rao of Abhinav Bharat, and Sushant Sareen. It's a sensitive subject. Pankaj Sharma, Vivek Srivastav, Atikur Rahman, and Haji Hassan Ahmad, who's a Muslim scholar. I thank you all for joining me. We all realize it's a sensitive subject. It has many implications, but you know, more and more information is beginning to come out, and today a lot of people watching Republic are asking very pointed questions now. I want to start with Colonel Hani Bakshi. Colonel Hani Bakshi is a former commander of the TSD, which is the Technical Support Division of the Indian Army. Colonel Hani Bakshi, welcome.
Good evening.
Do you have, first of all, in terms of disclosures, what was your professional equation with Colonel Purohit? In what capacity were you working with him?
I was handling the South Kashmir intelligence in the year 2004, 5, 6, 7. And Colonel Purohit was then a major. He was there in South Kashmir, posted to the intelligence unit there. So I have known him since then. And a very fine officer who was very, very professional. And he had done some wonderful operations there in South Kashmir. So I know him since then. He was kind of indirectly under me.
So you didn't have a direct reporting equation into you?
No, in the sense that since he was in the same formation, so everything that was being reported on intelligence matters was coming to me.
So you were both working with military intelligence? And,
yeah.
And you joined in military intelligence straight after passing out of the Indian Military Academy. So your entire career has been in military intelligence. Anyone knows about how MI works, it's you, right? You were commander of the Technical Services Division that was later disbanded. So you've held responsible positions. It's not as if we are talking to someone. I'm just establishing your credentials, Colonel Bakshi, because you know someone's going to turn around. We have people on the panel who turn around. Who's Colonel Bakshi? What does he know? We know more, etc. So I'm establishing your professional credentials first.
30 years in the military intelligence, commanded 4 intelligence units.
You said Purohit has been incarcerated by the nation.
Yeah.
Right? And you are seeing these papers I have with me today, where it is written that this gentleman had threatened me in a statement that he will also implicate me in the case as implicated to Purohit. What does that mean? It means open threats were being issued for people to fall in line. Otherwise, they would
Arnab,
face the same fate as Purohit.
Let me come down. Not only Purohit, there were others also who were being threatened to be witnesses in the case. One being Captain Nitin Joshi also. In fact, Nitin Joshi was threatened to an extent that he was made to give a statement in front of the magistrate, which he later retracted. In fact, he sent a letter to the Maharashtra Human Rights Commission also. And thereafter in the NIA, again when his statement was given on the basis of this complaint to the Maharashtra State Human Rights Commission, very categorically says that I was forced to make a confessional statement as dictated by the ATS Mumbai. Now, this is 5th of October 2009, he has retracted his statement which was given to the court.
Yeah.
And as far as Colonel Purohit is concerned, I'll just keep it in a very small thing. You see, there were 2 inquiries. Once Colonel Purohit was handed over to the ATS, there were 2 inquiries that were done departmentally. One inquiry was conducted without Colonel Purohit being given a chance to defend himself. That is his right. So he had moved the tribunal and he was given an opportunity. So the second court of inquiry was held. And in that court of inquiry, the army did not find anything. Now there was a third inquiry wherein once the ATS, which I still hold to it, that one Subedar and one officer saw the ATS personnel rubbing the RDX in the house of one Mr. Chaturvedi.
Yeah.
Okay, that was on the 3rd of October, if I'm not wrong. 3rd of November, 2008.
Yeah.
And thereafter, these 2 people have given it in statement in the court that was rubbed, based on the basis of which the NIA has very categorically mentioned that now because of the statement of these 2 officers, we suspect that this RDX was planted to implicate him. Now, at that given time, if you recollect, Arnab, there was a lot of hue and cry that RDX is missing from the army. So within the army, an internal inquiry was conducted again, and army said there's nothing missing. So if nothing was missing, then where did this RDX come from? My question is very simple, that it was a clear-cut case of implicating, planting, rather we call it a word, we used to call it padding. And
well, you're saying the anti-terror squad, the ATS, had access to RDX. RDX is not commonly available. It'll either be with the military or it'll be with the ATS, or ATS may have some access to it, right? So you're saying...
I would rather see a judicial inquiry be set up.
No, so it's already written here, and I have this NIA charge sheet, you know, where it is written that that they found Assistant Police Inspector of the ATS in the house of Sudhakar Chaturvedi when Sudhakar Chaturvedi was not present in the house, right? Yeah. Both the witnesses confirmed this fact during the cross-examination. The question arises why the Assistant Police Inspector of the ATS visited the house of Sudhakar Chaturvedi in the absence of the accused, right? And after that, whether that person was taking a swab of RDX, which means RDX was being planted in a particular house. RDX was being planted, and I want to pick up the piece of paper, ladies and gentlemen, and the people of the country must see this. You want to hold this up as well? You have the piece of paper. I want to read out this part, viewers. We're not making this up. We're not making this up. I want to tell everyone watching tonight, including all our panelists, say what you want. Abuse Republic as much as you like. But we're not making this up. What has been made up is unimaginable, for it says here in the page I hold above with me, it says, the recovery itself becomes suspect on the ground that ATS Mumbai may have planted the RDX traces to implicate him and the other accused people in the case. I can't believe it. And RSN, the Lutyens media will not report this. They won't report this. Viewers, I think the time has come to ask ourselves, Colonel Bakshi, what's going on in this country? It's an army officer. The story we are telling here is that a government fixed army officers to save Pakistan. That's how I look at it, Colonel Bakshi. The government fixed patriotic army personnel to save jihadi groups. That's how I read it. How do you read it, Colonel Bakshi?
Arnab, I would like to add one more thing here, which will be a big revelation to your viewers. When Colonel Purohit was taken out from Pachmadi, where he was undergoing a language course, as per the army's own statement, he was missing from 29th of October to 4th of November. And my sources say probably he would have been eliminated, he would have been, encountered and killed the moment this RDX was there. And I'm saying it.
You mean they marked him missing or something? They wanted to mark him missing and then eliminate him in an encounter?
The moment the RDX was found in Sudhakar Chaturvedi's house, they would have eliminated him. Case shut. There was nobody to defend him. 4 days he was missing, and I know where he was kept. He was kept in Lonavala, in a safe house there. Why did not they take him into custody, into the right place where he should have been? Where was he for 4 days? My question is that. Neither on the army's radar nor on the police's radar.
Who's handling the ATS at that time?
Yeah, when he was picked up.
Who was handling the ATS at that time?
You're not audible a bit.
Who was handling the ATS at that time?
Yes, he was with the ATS at that time.
Who was handling the ATS?
That everybody knows it. Nothing new.
You want to share?
My issue is we would have lost an officer, a dedicated officer.
Almost lost him. As I thank Colonel Hani Bakshi, I want to tell you viewers, Colonel Shrikant Purohit is back serving the army.
Yeah.
We hope he gets justice. Years of incarceration, torture, unimaginable torture, called a terrorist. Today serving the army, once again wearing olive green. We're proud of him. Colonel Halim Bakshi, thank you very much. I'm taking the debate forward now.
Honored.
Professor Rakesh Sinha, you heard that? Colonel Arison Singh, any reactions to what you heard out there?
You know, this is not only the
your viewers,
gain of the Congress.
One of you, okay.
This was
let Arison go first. Yeah, Arison.
No, what I'm saying that I want to take your viewers back to those days of 2008. Remember, there was elections in 2009, and when 26/11 was going on, does the country know that Shah Mahmood Qureshi was in India, right here in the heart of Delhi, addressing, talking to lady journalists in that women press corps, whatever you have. He was here, and then he was given a special aircraft to fly from this country back to Islamabad. Does the country know about it? Does this country know about the fact that the war room which should have handled the 26/11, the entire war room was in Pakistan? Can you believe it? Home Secretary Madhukar Gupta and his entire team was there. Has anybody asked? Manmohan Singh and this fellow Chidambaram, that who was handling? How was your war room there? They were taken when this attack was going on. They were having beer in Murray. Can you believe it?
There's nothing to believe. I know it, but the question is this. One minute. The question is this. And let's look at the sequence. Chronology समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. Rakesh Sinha, 26/11 happens. November 2008. The Congress government is under pressure. Its Pakistan policy is under question. The Aman Ki Asha Brigade does not know what to do. Chidambaram, Manmohan Singh, Sonia Gandhi decide to do some counterbalancing. They realize that if they create a nonsensical idea of Hindutva-inspired terrorism, then they will balance out. Interestingly, they put a question mark over Samjhauta. And Shah Mahmood Qureshi, I remember, let me tell you, you know why? Because when I asked him questions, and people can see the clip, I asked him in the Pakistan High Commission a few straight questions. He got so rattled, they tried to stop, an ISI man tried to stop my interview. I walked out of the Pakistan High Commission, and ever since we were told you'll be denied visa and entry into Pakistan, we said we give a damn. I know the journalists you are talking about, who played into the hands, but also remember there were journalists like us, RSN, who fought the Pakistanis. And Shah Mahmood Qureshi then pushed lies saying the Samjhauta Express incident and the Mumbai attacks were interconnected. So this was clearly an attempt to give Pakistan an escape route regarding 26/11. What a shame! What a shame, Vivek and Pankaj! What a shame, Atikur, we were betrayed by our own.
No, it was
What a shame! You created a hoax to save Pakistan.
I still consider Lieutenant Colonel Purohit a shady character.
No, you're considering makes no difference.
He is still hiding many things.
No, you're considering. We have all the papers now with us. Your lie will be exposed.
He is not making all the documents transparent and available.
He is not making the documents are all transparent, available, part of the NIA charge sheet. 1 minute.
He did
just 1 minute.
But he has not disclosed those.
Just 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Rakesh Srivastava
has filed a writ.
No, Vivek
One of the victim's father has filed a writ.
Vivek Srivastava.
In which these documents should be made public.
The game is up.
He has been hiding them.
1 minute. Thank you very much. I'm replacing you on the right now. Rakesh Sinha. Rakesh Sinha, both in the testimonies, and in the facts. Rakesh on the left.
You are an anti-national. The papers he submitted to the prosecution which justifies his role.
You are an anti-national who is on our television channels every day.
I have a very question.
Can I have the volume up, please? I can't hear either in the newsroom.
And the other Sati Pragya, who's a Godse lover, even the Prime Minister was embarrassed by her.
Okay, now Vivek, I'll have to take you off. I said it, but I'm not being listened to. So I'm saying that I'm replacing Vivek on the right because he's speaking more nonsense than usual. I'm going to Rakesh Sinha on the left and Atikur Rahman on the right. I'm defining the people I want on both sides. Thank you very much. Now my question is simple. Rakesh Sinha, the facts are beginning to come out. They say he's shady. They say he's shady. This man spent 9 years in jail. Rakesh Sinha, 9 years he spent in jail after being wrongly fixed. When will there be justice? Why is it taking so long?
Arnab, I am telling you, the whole process was not only concerned for the electoral gain of the Congress party. This was a small part.
Louder,
the
please.
design was to defame the Hindus, Hindu organizations and a Hindutva movement. This design has the international conspiracy, and the Congress party was integral part of that conspiracy, hand in glove. The then Home Minister, two Home Ministers, who propounded a theory of Hindu terrorism and the saffron terrorism, and that too in front of Sonia Gandhi and before Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. In Jaipur Congress conclave, the Home Minister said it is a saffron terrorism. Where was saffron terrorism? Basically, they wanted to defame Indian Army. Arnab, I would remind you, I was in your debate on that question. When there was such a committee, the Congress party the ruling party emphasized the army, demanded from the army the religious demography in the army. Who are the Muslims, who are the Hindus, who are the Sikhs? For the first time, the army refused to give such information. General J.J. Singh, same army, scolded the late colonel, one of the officer who died later on in 2611, Mr. Karkare. What happened? Mr. Karkare interviewed and probed Mr. Srikant Purohit without informing the army. You cannot do that. There are some certain protocol. This shows that there was a conspiracy, and these were just the tools of the conspiracy. And only that the Islamic terrorism and the propounder of the Islamic terrorism outside the country, they had pressurized the Indian agents, and I think Congress party acted as a very convenient tool of the international conspiracy. Second important thing is that when the government was investigating, they didn't get any substantial. Then they were planting the RDX in Sudhakar Chaturvedi's home. What ATS was doing, what NIA is doing, they didn't get anything. Now when the things are coming, and Colonel Purohit spent 9 years in the prison, nobody is coming. This left liberal coming that where are 9 years? Any person who is 9 years, rightly or wrongly from the minority community, they start shouting. Why? Who returned the 9 years to this young man? Now they are not questioning. In fact, their motive is to defame Indian army, disintegrate the Indian army, the most patriotic force, most organized force, and most devoted to the country's services. And that was one of the motive behind this conspiracy. Second was that because the rising Hindutva, nationalism, they wanted to defame nationalism in the eyes of the Hindus itself. That these people are the terrorists, they are backing the terrorism, they are creating the parallel terrorism, and that every hoax proved wrong in the Samjhauta Express, that proved wrong in the Malegaon blast. Now the question is that, are they introspecting or they are reiterating the same
No, we've got to push it a little bit more. One minute. We got to push it a little bit more. We got to push it a little bit more. Now, Arnab, one sec, Atik, you'll have to let me make my point clear so viewers understand where I'm coming from. I am clear. This was a hoax to protect Pakistan and provide some equalizing to Islamist terrorism, right? And this equalization was happening. I'd like to invite Sushant, Sareen on the debate. Milind Joshi Rao wants to say something. Milindji, I'm just coming to you. I want to make the bigger point. Very clear today that Purohit was falsely implicated. Question is today, Milindji, how many others were threatened? Come into the debate. Okay, let me get Milind Joshi Rao on the left and get Atikur Rahman on the right. Evidence is being planted. I have written testimonies which prove that somebody was planting the RDX, right, in a particular residence to put the blame. It's not my speculation. I have facts regarding that. The statement names ATS member API Bagde and says he was sitting on the floor and in one hand he had a bag, and the other he was rubbing the floor, which means he was planting the RDX, right? We have statements of witnesses.
It is not just that. It is not just that.
Yeah.
Major Khanzode was on duty that time in the Deolali campus where Chaturvedi's home was situated, and Bagde had gone into it. When Major Khanzode went dead into night to inquire what an ATS officer is doing into this home, Bagde was so scared that he asked Major Khanzode not to tell this incident to anybody, and this has been recorded. Major Khanzode has recorded this statement in the court of inquiry conducted by the Indian Army. That was point number one. Colonel Hani Bakshi rightly said that Captain Nitin Joshi was threatened. I will add to it that he was threatened at the gunpoint just outside the magistrate's office. So that was the level of ATS officers doing those kind of threatening to come out with all these statements, the false statements, where the witnesses are turning hostile now.
One minute. There was, I'll tell you at that time, and viewers, I'm sharing something with you, since we were very strong in questioning Sushant, India's Pakistan policy, and 26/11 stopped this whole Sharmal Sheikh approach of Manmohan Singh. There was a strong desperation. Wherever I would go in Delhi, I would be told, oh, you are ruining India-Pakistan equations. You are going to be responsible for war in the subcontinent. So there was a desperation in the government at that point of time to somehow balance out this whole terrorism thing and not make Pakistan the only source of terrorism, make Pakistan look like a victim of terrorism. Therefore, Pakistan was given an alibi through Samjhauta, etc. And so, in the immediate aftermath of that, they created this theory. They made Malegaon, they created the theory, they needed to talk about saffron terrorism so as to balance it out and help their friends in Pakistan. That's how I read it. Sushant, what's your take?
No.
So, Arnab, number one, Sharmal Sheikh happened after the 26/11 attacks.
Yes.
And that was the bigger shock, that you had a government which, despite one of the biggest terror attacks in India, was ready to smoke the peace pipe with a terrorist country. So that was a shock. And I think everybody often forgets that in the same year, 2009, we had Mr. Rahul Gandhi and the WikiLeaks tell us that Mr. Rahul Gandhi, while speaking to the American ambassador, said that, the Lashkar-e-Taiba does a couple of things, but our real fear is from Hindu terrorists. And that's available on anybody can Google it and search that out. And I think that shows you a certain mindset of the government at that point. Look, I will certainly not go so far as maybe Colonel R.S.N. Singh, if I understood him correctly, to allege some kind of a linkage between the then government and these attacks. No. But I certainly think that there was a kind of a move by those people to try and equalize that. Yes, okay, fine, there is this Islamic terrorism happening,
and there is Hindu terrorism,
counterweight by Hindu terrorism.
That was a very small point to the government.
Okay, one minute. Sushant, Milind Joshi Rao of Abhinav Bharat is countering you. I'm giving everyone, I just want him to come with the flow, counter you and come back. I'm coming back straight to you after that, Sushant. Coming back straight to you after that. Let him counter you and we'll come in. Lots of people watching this tonight. Yeah.
That was a very small point for the government to make that saffron terror as well as it exists. But the core reason why Colonel Purohit and Abhinav Bharat were implicated in this case has regarding to do something with the sleeper cells. The PFI, had Colonel Purohit being still serving and his network not destroyed that time by the ATS and by the government, this PFI thing which has been destroyed today had been destroyed in 2006 itself. Abhinav Bharat and military intelligence were dead behind these PFI people.
I now want to get in the other side. Let me.
Arnab, can I make a point, please? Look, number one, if what Mr. Joshi is saying, I take strong objection to it. There is absolutely no business that somebody from the military intelligence has to link up with a private organization to unveil some terrorist organization. That is not the way governments need to work. And I think that's a very problematic thing what he's saying, if indeed that is true.
No,
but
one minute.
I have a larger point.
Sir, what was Salwa Judum?
On this whole,
sir, what was
you said what you had to say.
In that
Can
case?
you let somebody else talk? Otherwise, you want to keep talking.
Sir, what was Salwa Judum in that case?
Okay, Arnab, I don't have anything to say.
if any organizations are not being helped by the government, you say Abhinav Bharat is not a private organization. It's an organization of die-hard nationalists. And your theory itself is very wrong that government doesn't engages into the citizen population.
Okay, but we are going, 1 minute. I take your view, I take Sushant's view. But now we are straying. The moot point right now is simply this. Was Purohit fixed? Hai Was Sadhvi Pragya fixed?
I was coming to that point if this gentleman had let me speak.
Yeah, I'm just coming to you. I just want to see whether at least today, after so much evidence has been put out, whether at least today Atikur Rahman and Pankaj Sharma who are on the screen are thinking and saying, look what they did. They gave ammunition to Pakistan to claim that 26/11 and Samjhauta were interconnected. By fixing Shrikant Purohit, you were trying to help Shah Mahmud Qureshi. This is betrayal. Do you understand it, Atik? You're creating a Hindu terror bogey to give ammunition to Pakistan, which is used by Pakistan to blackmail India over the 26/11 investigation. You've compromised on the oath of office you had. You gave ammunition to Pakistan media to push narratives against India. Terrible. At least today.
Arnab,
at least today, admit, Atik, Pankaj, at least today, people are watching tonight. Yeah.
Arnab, in the beginning, as you said that this is a very serious discussion we are entering into, so we should be careful. My moot point over here is, if you are doubting the ATS at that time, you are doubting the investigating agencies, you are doubting the government at that particular time, why should now I have no ample evidence against the Hindutva-wadi government we have in India, that they are not camouflaging everything, the witnesses are turning hostile. What exactly I as a citizen of India can hope for? 9 Muslims who were discharged from this case or are on bail. If they are out, Abhinav Bharat was not responsible. Aliens would not have, came down.
Are you saying, one minute.
The citizens of India are hoping for
Atik,
justice.
listen, Atik, I'll tell you. Atik, 1 minute. Before you say anything else, I want to ask you. I'm just coming to you, Alisha, but I want to ask you. Atik, look at the person on the left-hand side of the screen right now. One thing. You see this gentleman here? Or just right above you on the screen. Can you see him? Can you see him with the check shirt? Can you see him? Okay, let me get a close-up. I just had him on the frame in a closer frame.
No,
Can I get Milind Joshi Rao on the screen closely with Atikur Rahman? Atikur Rahman, are you saying Milind Joshi Rao, who's on the left-hand side of the screen, does he look to you like he's a dangerous head of a terrorist organization? What are you talking? How far will you stretch this crazy theory?
Muslims,
how far will you take this crazy theory?
9 Muslims
No.
who are on bail on the same charges?
No. You're taking it too far.
You have their innocence on your TV?
You're taking it too far.
They were not innocent. What I am asking you, Arnab, is if we are talking of national security, then if that time government can be questioned, why can't I question the
That's what you want. You want a balancing out. And what I'm telling you is that there is no balancing out, for God's sake. There is what you want to do, and what the Congress government did was balancing out. Stop balancing out. Stop balancing out. You want to balance terrorism.
Even if I'm
you want a counterbalance to Qassam. You want a counterbalance to 26/11, and therefore you created this false theory. Pankaj, speak up tonight, Pankaj. Don't be quiet.
Where are they?
Speak up about where the betrayal happened.
Of Sri Hemant Karkare.
Well, well, 1 minute. Will you be quiet? I'm asking. Wasn't the Hindu terror narrative used by the Pakistan Foreign Office? Did the Pakistan Foreign Office not say? Did the Pakistan Foreign Office not say?
Seriousness of this
Sir, very serious. Did the Pakistan Foreign Office not say that Hafiz Saeed is not a terrorist? But Colonel Purohit is the head of a terrorist organization. Did they not say that?
You want to
Who
know
do you
the
stand
intent?
with?
You want to know the contents of Colonel Purohit's laptop, sir?
Yeah, you have, you,
Purohit
oh yes, oh yes, oh yes.
in his
RSN is on the debate right now
methods of
and you got
preparing
blind.
different sorts of
RSN and
bombs.
Milind Joshi Rao are on the debate. This is crazy. What are you trying to balance out? What balancing out was this?
No, he's just shouting about the laptop probably.
Listen,
there were a lot of evidences. There were a lot of evidences that were fabricated by the ATS and given in front of the court. The court has already dismissed all those laptops and whatever this Atikur Rahman is showing right now. It's already been dismissed in the court. There is no truth to it.
Listen. I don't talk in thin air. Let me get your facts clear. There was a blast. There were blasts in Malegaon in 2006. The 9 people he is talking about. The ATS that time head was Raghuvanshi. And
correct.
The
KPS
DGP was Pasricha. The DGP himself had a press conference. And he said that these 9 people were involved. And he said, you go, you can take out your, from the archives, his press conference. And he categorically said that I have absolutely no doubt. Then what happened is that in 2008 September, they had a very small blast, in Malegaon again. Just this was in preparation for 26/11, so that the entire country buys out this theory of, Hindu terror, right? And Arnab, I remember that time, just after the Samjhauta blast, I remember that very day, after 2 days, sorry, I was with you on a debate. And at that time, I had told you that, look, the truth lies somewhere else. Tomorrow, Pakistan will going to turn around and say that look, 1 minute, look, you are the perpetrators of terrorism. Now, what happens? Can you believe it? ये दुनिया में सरीन साहब एक ही मुल्क होगा जो कि बाहर के लोग कह रहे हो, जो पाकिस्तान Fauzia Autala, David Headley's Moroccan wife, went to the American embassy and she said, my husband has done it. और आपके लोग कह रहे कि नहीं. It was not he. It was not Pakistan which had done it. It is our people who had done it. And Sareen Saab, please ask Chidambaram and Digvijay Singh. Please ask Chidambaram and Digvijay Singh who killed Karkare.
I want Haji Hassan Ahmad. हाजी हसन अहमद जी आप ये सुन रहे हैं ना?
अरे
हाजी हसन अहमद जी आप सुन रहे हैं ना?
80 साल का आदमी is going around planting bombs. स्वामी असीम आनंद is a स्वामी.
हाजी हसन अहमद कुछ कहना चाहते हैं? हाजी हसन अहमद लखनऊ. हाजी हसन अहमद from Lucknow.
180-year-old man is creating
RSN 1 minute. हाजी हसन जी.
अरे भाई इनको पहले चिल्लाने आप कुछ और गालियां दे लिए. इस्लामिक वर्ड को यूज करके क्यों नफरत की दुकान चलाते? क्या मिलता है आप? क्या मिल जाएगा आपको? ये बताइए.
Rakesh Sinha, 1 minute. We are going off in another direction. I'll have Rakesh Sinha and Sushant on the left. I want to go back on the subject at hand. हाजी हसन अहमद जी, मेरा सवाल आपसे ये है, जैसे कि आप देख चुके हैं और इतनी इंफॉर्मेशन आपके सामने हाजी हसन जी हमने रखी है कि ये सारा जो नैरेटिव था हिंदू टेररिज्म का, सैफरन टेररिज्म का, ये तो गलत निकला ना. ये तो गलत निकला ना. इस पर कितनी रोटियां सेकी लोगों ने, कितने दुकानें खोली लोगों ने सैफरन टेररिज्म के नाम पर. आप पूछिए राकेश सिन्हा जी को, पूछिए आप राकेश सिन्हा जी को पूछिए.
बिल्कुल सबको पूछने जा रहा हूं मैं. अर्नब, पैनल में बैठे हुए हर एक आदमी को पूछने जा रहा हूं मैं, और हर एक हिंदुस्तानी से मैं पूछने जा रहा हूं कि जो लोग पैनल में बड़ी बड़ी बातें कर रहे हैं हिंदू टेररिज्म और इस्लामिक टेररिज्म को, 1 मिनट अर्नब, जो जस्टिफाई करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, जो डिनाई करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं.
मैं ना हिंदू टेररिज्म ना इस्लामिक की कहता हूं, मैं जिहादी टेररिज्म जरूर कह रहा हूं. और राकेश सिन्हा जवाब दे रहे हैं जनाब आपको. राकेश सिन्हा जवाब दे रहे हैं. ऐसे राकेश सिन्हा ऑन द लेफ्ट.
सुनना पड़ेगा, सुनना पड़ेगा पहले. सुनना पड़ेगा पहले.
अच्छा इनको बोलने दे. 1 मिनट राकेश सिन्हा, इनको बोलने दे उसके बाद जवाब दे. राकेश सिन्हा इनको बोलने दे उसके बाद जवाब.
ATS दोषी थी. मंत्री भारत सरकार दोषी था? कौन दोषी था? कितने लोग पैनल में बैठे हुए भारत सरकार के खिलाफ केस करेंगे कि एटीएस के खिलाफ केस किया? सिर्फ नफरत का ढोल बजाना है। क्यों डर लगता है कांग्रेस से? कांग्रेस आज नेस्तनाबूद होने की कगार पे आ गई, फिर भी इतना डर रहे हैं। क्यों नहीं राहुल गांधी पे केस करते? क्यों नहीं कांग्रेस पार्टी के ऊपर केस करते? क्यों हिंदू मुसलमान को डिवाइड एंड रूल की पॉलिसी अपना रहे? किसको फायदा पहुंचाना चाहते हैं आप लोग? किसको?
इन्वेस्टिगेशन तो होनी चाहिए ना, इन्वेस्टिगेशन तो होगी ना, इन्वेस्टिगेशन होगी। आई हैव हर्ड यू नाउ। राकेश सिन्हा, राकेश सिन्हा,
उनको इंसाफ कब मिलेगा? क्यों नहीं आप लोग सरकार खड़ा करते?
No, they are trying.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट में
They are trying to create the parallel. Just now they created parallel. Then also, we have not produced any Bakhtiar Khilji in our history, nor we have produced any Kasab in our history. And you are creating a Hindu terrorism and the Islamic terrorism. And you are questioning our wisdom. I have a question. When there was the government of India was under the pressure of the international lobby. The anti-Hindu lobby were pressurizing the New Delhi to do what they wanted. They wanted that Indian army should be defended. They wanted that Indian army should be disintegrated. That was the real objective. The government of India, the government of India was under the dirty department of the international elite.
तो ये सोचने वाली बात है कि आज गवर्नमेंट जो चाहे वो कुछ भी करा सकती है।
हाजी हसन जी, आप थोड़ा सा रिलैक्स होकर आप अपने आप को सवाल पूछिए कि 2009 के इलेक्शन के पहले लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल पुरोहित को 2008 में अरेस्ट किया गया। शायद वो किसी तरह की टेररिस्ट अपीजमेंट पॉलिसी थी, है ना? और राहुल गांधी तो गए थे ना अमेरिकन एम्बेसी में कह के कि राहुल गांधी ने हिंदू टेररिज्म के बारे में जो कहा, सैफरन टेररिज्म के बारे में जो कहा अमेरिकन ऑफिशियल्स के सामने, वो तो ऑन रिकॉर्ड है। आई वांट टू गो टू अलीशा। अलीशा, टेल मी वन थिंग। अलीशा, एक मिनट। अलीशा, ये आप यू टेल मी वन थिंग, जस्ट 1 मिनट। अलीशा, अलीशा, नाउ द प्रॉब्लम इज दैट देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल who have said that Hindu terrorism exists. Sitaram Yechuri, Digvijay Singh, they have taken positions on this. So to counter this, there has to be a lot of contrary information. Kitni information hai, kitni evidence hai? Can you tell me something? You have a lot of documents before you, you have a lot of evidence. What is the story that is now coming out? Alisha.
Arnab, we are really shocked because what we have produced, it is the documents, the charge sheet that has been filed by National Investigation Agency. Moreover, I need to read one of a statement, which has been mentioned in the charge sheet, which says that on considering the fact narrated by above mentioned witnesses, the question arises here why API visited the house of Sudhakar Chaturvedi in the absence of accused witnesses, and he was requested not to tell anything about his presence at the house of Sudhakar Chaturvedi. It is pertinent to mention here that the ATS conducted search of the house of Sudhakar Chaturvedi on 25th 11/2018, from where he had taken the swab of RTX. This creates doubt on this recovery of swab of RDX, keeping in view of the deposition.
The ATS conducted the search in the house of Sudhakar Chaturvedi after API Bagde of the ATS visited his house. After.
Yes.
So which means the RDX would have been planted.
Yes.
And after that they did the search.
Yes. And it has also been...
there's another story. How did Bagde enter the house of Sudhakar Chaturvedi? Where did he get the keys for that?
So this is important because
how does this link up? How does this link back to Shrikant Purohit? How are they trying to bring Shrikant Purohit by doing this?
And this is something that has been mentioned by National Investigation Agency, and they are saying that the absence of accused witnesses, API Bagde has visited the house of Sudhakar Chaturvedi and also requested him not to tell anything about his presence at the house of Sudhakar Chaturvedi. Which is
a clear case of planting yes. the RDX, right? It is. There's no doubt here. What's coming across here, viewers, is a clear case. What Alisha is telling me, that explosives are being planted. Now I go back to this. Pankaj, don't tell me. Tell Sushant Sareen. Why are people desperate? Why are people desperate to plant RDX and put the blame on Colonel Purohit? What is the need? What is the desperation behind that? You tell me, Pankaj. Tell me.
This Hindu terror narrative,
yes.
whose grandchild was this? Home Secretary of India named an organization and told the nation that at least 10 people having close links with this particular organization and its affiliates are accused in various acts of terror across India. Where is this Home Secretary now? Now he is a very senior minister, the power minister in Narendra Bhai Modi's government. So these are the days when we are made to believe that there was never any Abhinav Bharat, there were no arms training camps. So if someone wants to tell us that nothing happened with Bilkis Banu, nothing happened in Naroda Patia, nothing happened in 2002.
Stay focused. Tell me, there were, just 1 minute. I'm bringing back Sushant because I cut him short earlier. There were American intelligence inputs of the links of one Pakistani national, Arif Kasmani, to terrorist organizations. Despite that, the Congress government chose to implicate Swami Asimanand and not investigate the angle of Arif Kasmani. And then they said Swami Asimanand is a Hindu terrorist. So they took the focus away from the real terror organizations. Yes, Sushant.
On the Samjhauta case, it was not just the Americans. Arif Kasmani was listed as an international terrorist by the UN.
Yes.
So for these people to then suddenly wake up that no, it was some guy like Asimanand who went and planted that bomb and was this great terror mastermind, that is bizarre, right? So the whole narrative was being built up in a way that you wanted to equalize at one level. And frankly, there are enough whistleblowers within the government. You have that gentleman, Mr. Money, who was an undersecretary in the Home Ministry, who has written a book on this. You have a number of other cases. Now, the case which Mr. Sharma is talking about, that is precisely what is wrong with the Indian bureaucracy. That whatever the political master commands them to do, they will do it. They will say it without even an iota of conscience in them or any kind of an evidence with them. Which is what the gentleman, Mr. Sharma, is talking about did. Which is what all those other guys who set up people like Colonel Purohit and who set up this whole conspiracy theory, which they have flogged, which has fallen apart completely. This is precisely what they were doing.
Yes,
it does not come as any surprise to me. The way the explosives were being planted, the way the evidence was being planted in order to implicate people. This is standard operating procedure of third-rate cops. That's what they do.
We know them. And some of them have been common to the last 1 year of the Uddhav government and this case. Viewers, quiz question for you tonight. Which cops are common to this case and common to all the evil acts during the Uddhav government? Quiz question for you, viewers. Quiz question for you. And viewers, I want to say tonight, before I close, food for thought, think of the injustice to the Indian army done by the Congress. They talk of Bharat Joro now. Rahul Gandhi should first go and apologize to Colonel Shrikant Purohit. They talk of Bharat Joro. Look at the insults they have. They try to protect Pakistan. They talk about Bharat Joro. 59 witnesses, ladies and gentlemen, deposed before the Army's Court of Inquiry that Shrikant Purohit was doing his job as a military intelligence officer. But you called him a terrorist. They talk about Bharat Joro. They are hypocrites, ladies and gentlemen, absolute hypocrites. And coming up on the other side tonight, Kejriwal said, I'm pro-farmer. I'll show you pictures on the other side which will show you how pro-farmer Arvind Kejriwal really is in a few minutes.
आग को फैलने से रोकना